Welcome to Code Crafters, and in this video we are going to continue our constraints lecture. And last video we stopped till primary constraint, so let's get started with foreign constraint. So why do we need a foreign constraint? Foreign constraint is mainly used when we have two tables actually. So let's say we have two tables and the two tables are connected. So foreign key is used to prevent actions from destroying the connections between the two tables. So it's like a field just like the primary key. But one more thing, a table will have a primary key, right? So let's say in customers table, our customer ID is the primary key. Same wise, foreign key is a field in another table that will refer to this primary key. So I will actually explain with the help of an example to make it more understandable. So we have the table customers. Now let's say we have a table named orders. So let's create a new table named orders. Create table orders. And inside this we are just going to have three things: order ID, int, order name, varchar 20, and then we are going to give a foreign key here. So I said foreign key is like connection between the two tables, right? So if we want a foreign key in this table, we will be having a or attribute or a column name that is a primary key of the first table. So let's say we have a column like customer ID. Okay, this customer ID is the primary key of the customer table, right? Same wise, this customer ID will be the foreign key of this order table. So once the key can become a foreign key or attribute can become a foreign key only when it is a primary key of another table. Unless it's not a primary key of another table, it can't be a foreign key of one table. So let's say order ID is a primary key. Sorry. Every table needs a primary key. It's not mandatory, but it's actually good to have a primary key for every table. Order ID is the primary key here because every order has a unique ID. And customer ID will be the foreign key. Or you can also create it in this way. You can give all the attributes name at first and then at last you can give the key names. So let's go by that manner. Order name varchar 20, and then we have customer ID. Let's say order. Item name would be more applicable. Yeah, order ID, item name, and customer ID. Okay. Then, as we have given all the customer IDs integer, given all the attributes name, now let's give the key constraints. So first, primary key. In our case, primary key is the order ID, and then foreign key. In our case, foreign key is the customer ID because that is the primary key in customer table. And you also have to mention the connection, right? So we'll be using the keyword named references. You have to say the keyword references, and after that you have to give the table name, the table which it is being referenced to. So in our case, this order table or the orders table is being referenced to the table customers. So you will say foreign key customer ID references customers, and then in the customers table, which particular column are we referencing to? We are referencing to the customer ID. You have to give the column name exactly the way it is in the customer table. That's why I changed here a difference. Here I gave the customer ID without any space. No, I did just give here space. You can give a different variable name for you to know the difference. So yeah, here I created the customer ID without the underscore, whereas in the customer table, the customer ID has an underscore. And in customer table, customer ID is the primary key, whereas in the order table, that same customer ID is the foreign key. So when you're giving it in the syntax way, foreign key, customer ID, this customer ID will be the variable name in your order table. References, customers, that is the table which is being referenced to, and inside that customer ID will be the column name from the customers table. So let's just add one more bracket here. Yeah, so let's just see the description now. Description, orders. You can see here order ID integer, null, no, key is primary key, item name, you can accept the null values, customer ID, yes. Foreign key doesn't mean that it's not like you can't have multiple values or anything. It can actually be possible. So that's why the key is given instead of foreign, it's given like MUL because it has connections. So this one way you can add foreign key, and this is exactly about what is the use of foreign key. I guess you understood what's the use of foreign key. A foreign key is mainly useful when you have to create connections between the two tables and it's not able to destroy it. So you have the customers table here and you don't have the orders table here. Why do we create the foreign key in the first place? You don't want tables with the same data every time. So let's say we have an order table. The order table doesn't need the data of every customers, where they are from, what's their name, address, age, and everything. That's not needed in order table. In order table, what is needed? In order table, we only need the order ID, the item name, and the customer ID. That's the main necessary data or entities which we need in an order table. So all the other entities are in the customer table, right? So we need a connection. We can't just get the details of customer ID with the customer name now. So to get the details from that, we are actually making it a connection. So once the two tables are connected, we can retrieve the details of the customer ID from the orders table. We can retrieve the details of customers through the customer ID from the order table itself. So I guess you understood. You can also add foreign key constraint by using the alter, the syntax which I said for alter table. So alter table orders, add constraint, same way foreign key, you can just give a constraint name and then foreign key, then the foreign key constraint column value, column name, references, this customers, customer ID. That's the way. And if you want to drop a foreign key, same syntax, alter table orders, drop foreign key. If you're given a name for the foreign key, just say the name. So that's it. That's the way you can create a foreign key constraint. So let's move to the next thing. Our next constraint is check constraint. So why do we use the check constraint? A check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. Let's say we have a limit like for age. If you are getting employees to a company, there will be a limit to what kind of an employees or to what age you'll be allowing the employees to enter, right? So only up to that kind of age, you'll be allowing the entries. So if we have set a limit in the table or the database for that kind of column, then once you enter a value that is above the limit, it will show you an error. So those kind of things we can use a check constraint. So we'll do that. Actually, we have already created the table, so I guess anyway, I'll just show you the syntax for both. You can use check constraint while creating the table, or you can use check constraint while altering the table. So if you want to use the check constraint by creating the table, let's give the syntax like this: create table. I'm just going to show you the syntax. I'm not going to run it because the table already exists here. Create table customers, ID int, primary key, then name, varchar. This is the sample, so I'm not going to bother about the variables name is exact or not. Name varchar, age int, and then you can give check age greater than, let's say, at least bare minimum of 25. So only about 25 the people, or like let's say the age is greater than 18 at least. So only below the age of 18 the people will be allowed to give an entry to the table. So in case you have to alter the table, let's go for that. Alter table customers, add, you have to, you know the syntax for adding a constraint, right? So add check, and then you give the condition age should be equal to greater than 18. Let's check the description. Let's see whether it's visible there. Okay, it won't be visible in the description part, but I guess it will be the error will be shown once you try an entry, like when you try to insert something, and if you insert an age that's above 18, that will show an error. So we will come to this when we actually try to insert. Anyway, I can just try to insert a sample value just for your sake. Insert into. I haven't taught about insert, so that's the reason I was hesitating not to start with the insert thing. Values 101, David, customer address, just say Baker Street, and postal code, just some 6 numbers, country, India, then age. Yeah, we gave the constraint that is 18, right? So let's give the age as 21, and salary 45,000. Okay, it is getting inserted. Okay, I gave the condition age should be greater than 18. So let's try to insert an age which is lesser than 18. Let's give 17 or like 16. Yeah, now you get the error check constraint customer check 1 is violated, right? So even if you don't create a name for your constraint, MySQL will automatically create the name. That's why we got a constraint name like customer check 1. So it says is violated. So now the person can actually check the constraint and they will know, okay, we have, or you have to insert only the age that's above 18. So I hope the check constraint use is clear. So that's it for this video, and the next lecture we will study about default constraint and much more things. Thank you.